Welcome back to Sacred Whisper, trusting the signs to step into alignment. I had something absolutely insane happen yesterday. And I was like, okay, this has to be a podcast. Somebody needs to hear this message about trusting the signs and the nudges and coming back into alignment. Because when you are off path, when you are maybe going against or you're meeting resistance, it's like, how about we surrender? How about we start actually paying attention to what's coming up and the signs that we're receiving so we can re-steer onto a path of least resistance, a path of, oh, I just got chills, a path of flow, a path of ease. And when we do this, so much magic happens. So, okay, let's just dive in. Okay. So, what was it? Monday. So, at the time I'm recording this, this is Wednesday, April 2nd. So, Monday, the 31st, I decided, oh my God, I'm going to go to this event. It's only like, what, 2 hours away. It's not that far from me. But if I'm totally honest, the timing is kind of shit. I didn't even know this live 3-day huge event was going on until I saw it in my ads on social media, probably a month or so ago. And things have been a little bit wild with scheduling, with personal life, and just various things going on that I honestly, like, I had the link open on my phone, but I completely kept forgetting to go back to it until I kept seeing it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go back to that. And then finally, it kept dropping in. And I kept getting the nudge. I'm like, you know what? I'm going. I said I wanted to get into the room of like minded people outside of Zoom. I love being in the online space. I love hosting different calls and trainings via Zoom. I love being in mentorship on Zoom, but there is something magical that happens when you get in person, period. And at the end of last year, I was like, I know that I am craving in person connection of like minded souls. This is something that I knew I needed to do, regardless of how crazy my schedule is. And so I went to Tulum in January with my mentor on a retreat. And then this popped up as well. I have something planned later on in the year. And then I'm also hosting a retreat in Tulum in July, which PS, if you want the information, just DM me on Instagram. I'll put that in the show notes for you so you can come have a conversation with me around that. But we are getting into the room with like-minded souls this year. Period. Dot the end. This is where growth happens. And for me, I was like, well, this one is like down the street, so to speak. Like it's not super far away. It's one of those things where I was like, okay, I could leave on Wednesday night or I could leave early Thursday morning, get there with plenty of time to register, and then be ready to go for this event. I'll stay a couple days, and I was like, "Oh, I'll come home on Saturday night," which that actually has changed. The event is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So, I don't honestly even know who all is speaking. I looked on the website and I couldn't find everyone. I know the CEO of Boss Babe, Natalie, is speaking. I know Ed Miles is speaking, and obviously Brendan Burchard because this is his event. I know it's going to be fucking fire. There's going to be high energy. There's going to be lots of mindset. There's going to be lots of connection and being in the room with like-minded souls from literally all over the world. And that is a hell yes for me. And so I was like, wow, this week, the timing isn't great. Like, I have like, my husband is graduating a flight. This might not mean much, but I will explain. Hang with me. He's graduating a flight. He's picking up a new flight. He's not really going to be home much. My kids are old enough to handle it, but I really want to make sure that they're getting up with alarms and not missing the bus because hubby's not going to be home to take them to school because he's going to be at work, right? So I was like, okay, the timing's kind of crazy, but I said I wanted to get into the room with other people, and there are other events I've been kind of eyeballing throughout the country this year, and I'll continue to keep my eye open. Ooh, I just got chilled again, and I was like, gosh, I really don't feel like I can pass this up. I really feel like I need to be there, nudge after nudge. And so I'm like, okay. got online, purchased ticket, and I was like, I will deal with the hotel situation later. And I think it was a Monday night. I was doing some personal things. I was like, okay, I need to book this hotel. Like, we are 2.5-ish days from leaving. Like, we gotta get this together. Like, last minute Linda over here with this one. And so I am on the website and the hotel that it's at is fully booked. And I started looking at the other ones and I'm like, okay, $800 a night? I don't know about that. And I'm like, okay, well, let me look in the area for a nice hotel that's still in that area. And for whatever reason, my nervous system went to like, oh, stop. Look, this is not a big deal. It is, and I've never been to this city, but I travel solo and I have traveled solo for years. My husband is in the Air Force, which PS, a new flight just basically means he is training the new enlisted members of the Air Force for their basic training, is all that is, like simply put, I guess. So when they enlist into the Air Force, he is one of the quote drill sergeants, so to speak. He is the mentor and the trainer to train them through graduation, and then he will turn around and pick up a new flight. When he picks up a new flight, like the last week is a lot more hours and a lot crazier hours than typical. And that first week, first probably 2-ish to 3-ish weeks are pretty crazy too. Just really like getting everybody integrated, getting them, settled where they need to be and all that stuff. So timing, not great. I've traveled by myself for so many years that like that's not a big deal. That doesn't make me nervous. I'm good. But for whatever reason, my nervous system just spazzed the fuck out and I finally committed to a hotel. And after probably like 2 hours of searching, which is I don't know why it took me so long to decide. It's just so silly. And then I was like, "Oh, I'll just come home on Saturday night." The event is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday will be done at 7 Saturday night, and it's about a 2-hour drive. And then I was like, Tuesday morning, I got the strong nudge on the way home from the gym that I needed to extend my stay through coming home on like checking out on Sunday. And I was like, cool, done. I'm going to just make those changes. Not a big deal. Okay. After I booked the hotel and as I was getting ready for bed, I was on the brink of panic. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I going? Where like what is and my brain literally started questioning a lot of things. Why the fuck am I telling you this? Because don't we need to just normalize being human? Don't we need to just normalize the fact that sometimes our capacity is stretched and we actually sometimes we'll have a situation that we're like, yeah, this is no big deal. Literally, I was like, this is no big deal. I'm excited. I want to be in the room with other people that are like-minded. And it's a very growth forward event. And this is, I know on the other side of being in person will change me. And that I know this for you too. Whenever you get in the room with other people, whenever you do something outside of your comfort zone, it changes you. Every single time I go to any kind of retreat or event, since I don't even know when, I've been going to events since, let me think. My oldest was a year and a half. So probably since 2009 or 2010, I've been going to events. Now, some of them have been a little bit sporadic, but I've been to quite a few, whether it's an in-person event or a retreat of some kind. From California to Wisconsin to Indianapolis to Destin, Florida to Colorado to Tulum, like you name it, been there, done that. Amazing. Changed my life every single time. And I always used to roll my eyes when I heard people say that, but it's true. You come out on the other side a totally fucking different person. And then you have an opportunity to integrate the information and decide when you come down from the high that you're on, all that dopamine high that you get in person, then you come home and you integrate and you decide that you're going to do things differently. Okay. So back to getting ready for bed. My husband was just kind of laying there and I'm like washing my face and brushing my teeth and I'm like on the brink of freaking panic. And I am like, what the hell? And he's like, this is so weird. He's like, you wanted to go. You were going. You bought the ticket. You booked the hotel room. Like, what is the actual problem? And I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't freaking tell you what the problem is. And I was like, okay. So we're just talking it out. I still don't fully know what the issue is. And honestly, it doesn't always matter. Like sometimes it's just like your brain is on from a subconscious level. Remember, your subconscious mind is trying to keep you safe. That's its only priority. That is the priority to keep you safe. So sometimes when it sees something that is to the subconscious mind that seems unsafe or uncomfortable or is a stretch from what your normal day to day is, it will do something. It will send signals to give thought and flood sensations to your body to get you to do something. This isn't always helpful because this was literally wired to keep you safe, to keep you alive. I know that I am felt called to this for a reason, and it is outside of my comfort zone. I'm not going to be chased by a saber-tooth tiger, likely not in Austin, Texas. And so what? And so what? Mind doing mind things. And so I talked through it, laughed about it with my husband after we were talking through it. And I woke up in such a different frequency and such a different energy, like game on, let's effing go. Like I have landed. And though I'm like, I want to share with you like how I moved through this and what actually happened that day that was so much confirmation. But I want to share with you also when we're feeling sensations and emotions in the body and how they can mirror others. Okay, so we're getting to that. So I decided in the month of April, we are doing quantum embodiment. What this is, I'm like, what if I took the next 30 days and I was all in on my own vision, on myself, with 100% conviction and confidence and deep knowingness and trust? How would that look? What would I do? And I decided 10-minute meditation minimum every day. I prefer morning, but doesn't matter. I decided scripting and journaling in the morning and in the evening. Doesn't have to be an hour journaling session, can be 3 to 5 minutes, or it can be 20 minutes, whatever feels good that day, whatever it is that I need. And a couple times a week, I'm pulling cards and then I'm doing my vision walk. So each day I'll take a walk and I will tap into the vision of future self. Okay. So that's the quantum embodiment. So I woke up on April 1st and also the first 2 minutes ish when I wake up when my alarm goes off, I am being in the energy of future self, of highest self, of the timeline that I desire to be in. And I'm holding that energy and that feeling in my body. So those are the things I'm doing. I'm also like being very intentional with my crystals and my oils, but it sounds like a lot, but really it's not that big of a deal. I'm journaling, I'm meditating, I'm taking a walk anyway. So I'm just visioning my future self, my future version of me as now. And I'm spending 1 to 2 minutes first thing when my alarm goes off in the energy that I want to embody. That's it. It's stuff I'm doing pretty much every day, but I'm just doing it more with more intention. Okay, so when I woke up on the 1st, I was like, yes, let's go. And I held that energy and that frequency. I meditated, I journaled, was so amazing. I more consistent again with my essential oils, like settling into our new home in Texas and a new way of life and a faster way of life has actually proved to be a little bit tougher than what I would actually like to admit, but we're now landing with solid feet. And I went to the gym. So you may remember, and if not, you can go back and listen to this episode. I am a diehard Packers fan. I have been since I was in like fifth grade or something like that. So forever, I am diehard. When it's football season, you will find me in front of the TV during my game, period, dot the end. And I know that's not everybody's reality, especially like us as healers. Like it's kind of like, you like, so yes, I love sports. Specifically, I love football. So claim it. Claim what you really love. Like full permission to be outside of the box on what a healer is, quote, supposed to look like. So just kind of like a Cliff Note version, but then go back and listen to this episode. I was at the gym one day last winter and I saw someone with a Green Bay Packers like snatch bag or whatever it's called. And I don't normally bug people at the gym. I'm in my own lane, they're in their own lane. We're all just doing our own thing. Sometimes we'll smile, wave, fist bump, like whatever, because you get like your gym fam. And I saw the Packers, and every time I see anybody having anything Packers, I will get their attention. I'll be like, go, Pack, go. And it's just a fun way to make people smile. It's a great way to connect, to start conversations, create community, like blah, 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 whatever. So I tapped him on the shoulder in between his set and I was like, hey, go Pack, go. And I give him a fist bump. And he was like, go Pack, go. And he took his headphones off and he was like, fun fact, I used to play for the Green Bay Packers. And I was like, what? Oh my God. I was like, no freaking way. And then he told me his name. And then when he played and I got to know a little bit more about him and his experience, I asked him some questions. He's a super chill dude. Anytime we do run into each other at the gym, when he does go to that one, we now talk, we fist bump, like whatever. It's really cool. And so I saw him on Monday and he was like, I have pictures for you because he was like, I'm going to bring autographed pictures for you and your son. My son Colin is a Packers fan as well. Austin is a Niners fan like dad. Anyway. And so he's like, are you going to be at the gym? I'm like, yes. And so he brought those in for me Tuesday. Day fucking made. I was like, yes, what a way to start the month. Yes, thank you, thank you. And I was just like, I'm not expecting it. I understand that he's busy. He coaches for various teams in the area. And so when he came up to me, he's like, hey, Kristen, fist bump. He's like, here you go. And I was like, oh, God, thank you so much. And so after that, I'm like finishing my workout, whatever. And at the end, I am taking out my earbuds while I'm in the locker room and I run into these two women. I've seen them in there before, but I don't usually talk to anyone while we're at the gym, right? And the divine guidance of this, of actually like leaning into this conversation. So here's the point of all of this. Are you actually listening to the nudges? Are you actually listening to the signs? So I signed up for this event. My nervous system spazzed the F out. I talked it out and was like, okay, I still don't know what it's about, but I know I'm being stretched. I know I'm being led to this for a reason. I said I wanted to get into the room with other like-minded people. I'm going. And so I woke up in such a different frequency the next day, different energy, was given 2 autographed pictures from a retired NFL player of my team, and then ran into these women. And the pure joy. Oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional just thinking about her. She just radiates. Okay. So I felt called to take my earbuds off a little bit sooner than what I normally do. And the women that were standing next to me were actually talking about Disney movies. And it was actually really funny, the conversation they were having. And they looked at me and I chimed in, whatever. And we were walking out together and I was like, by the way, my name's Kristen. They introduced themselves as well. And then I was like, just walking out with them, just listening to the conversation and engaging with them. And one of them stopped. And as we were walking to our vehicles, the other one had already parted ways. And she was telling me that she was going through a divorce. And when we're talking, like, this woman is literally oozing joy. Like, when you're around someone and they are genuinely like happy, like they're just so grateful and happy. This was her. And so, oh my gosh, I have chills. And so she was like, I'm going through a divorce right now. He stepped out on me and, whatever she was saying specifically. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm holding space for you. And I was like, can I give you a hug? And she's like, yes, of course. And she's like, and actually, I'm okay. I'm good. And she's like, a lot of my friends are like wishing him ill and like, saying all kinds of hateful things. She's like, but I don't hate him. She's like, "I've known him since I was 15," and she said she's 43. She's like, "I've known him since we were 15. He is the father," and I'm like, "He's the father of your children. I can understand that." And she's like, "I just wish him whatever it is that he needs. He's struggling. He's going through it. We're both going through it. And so why would I wish worse on him when he's already going through something?" And then she proceeds to tell me, she's like, I'm just so grateful to be alive. Whatever happens is going to happen. And I'm just so grateful to be alive. And she said that she had been in a really bad car accident and she was in a coma for 4 days. And she woke up. And once she realized what happened, she actually ran into a deer. When she realized what happened, she found her faith, which I love for her. And she said, I'm just so grateful. Ever since that moment, I am just so grateful to be alive. And she showed me her scars that she has, and she has a rod in her back now. And she's like, I only just started working out last year or walking last year. And now she's like really working out and getting into like her fitness routine. And I'm like, wow. And she was like just pulling up like the music and she's like playing the music as we were standing there. And I was like, I always wonder what people are listening to at the gym. I always find it so fascinating. I would love to just tap on somebody's shoulder and just be like, what are you listening to? You know what I mean? They would love to be surprised or not be surprised at all what maybe people are listening to. So she's like, this is what I'm listening to. And it was literally a song. It was the most joyful song to was like, I heard this song in Vegas and it was talking about being grateful for being alive. And it just had such a fun vibe to it. I don't even know what the name of the song was. And then as we were leaving, she said this, Kristen, remember your P's, the 3 P's. Stay positive, remember your priorities, and prioritize your peace. Let me say that again. Remember your 3 P's. Stay positive, remember your priorities, and prioritize your peace. And I left, first of all, just my heart so filled. And also, I had no idea how much I needed that perspective shift. That reminder that life is so precious. Like, we know this, right? You know this. We know that life is so precious. We know that life can be taken away in an instant. When you hear about something that someone else is going through or had been through and how their perspective has shifted, and I wish I could just give all of this joy to you that she gave to me. Like, oh my God, the amount of chills that I've had. I'm and then I saw her again this morning. She's like, "Hey, Kristen, did you have a good day yesterday?" And she's like, she mentioned another Disney movie and it was so funny. And I just like, what a beautiful reminder, right? Where it was like, I said yes to this thing. My nervous system felt stretched. I was on the brink of panic. And I was like, I don't know what this is actually about. And before, this could have sent me into a spiral for a long time and maybe even backed out of it. And I'm like, no, I'm not the woman that backs out of something. I said I'm going to go. I'm going. I've already invested. I'm there. I am there. And then it's like all of those things that I had been thinking about, or, the way of life that is so different here versus when we were in another location. I loved living in South Dakota. And, just the different things that we have been going through as a family. And then hearing her story and how she sees life, and just grateful and pure joy. I'm just like, whoa, whoa. And she probably has no idea the impact that she made. I did tell her this morning. She's like, "I was thinking about you last night." I was like, "So fun. I was thinking about you too." And I was actually telling my husband about the three of us meeting, and just how much of an impact that you did make. And she's like, "I'm just trying to spread some joy." And I'm just like, "Oh my God, I love you so much. You are just such a ray of light that this world gets to have." And that is so amazing. And so, all of this to be said, to all of this said to remind you of, where is it that you are being nudged to go? What is it that you're being nudged to do? Are you prioritizing you? Truly, are you prioritizing you? As I'm teaching quantum illumination Reiki in our official certification program for the first time, these powerful healers that are so amazing, literally all over the world, are learning this style for the first time. No one else has learned it yet. And something that I am integrating and will always integrate when it comes to our certification program is prioritizing you. As a healer, prioritizing you needs to be a priority. Like, it is, your energy is your biggest asset. Your gifts are an asset. And if you are running on empty, you cannot give to the world. I hate the words or the phrase, "you can't pour from an empty cup." Like, whatever, I know, we know. And also, there's truth to it. And so I am asking them to prioritize themselves in a way that also is them integrating and learning the keys with the healing frequencies of quantum illumination Reiki. I'm asking them just 10 to 20 minutes a day to take time for them. And as they're doing this, they are learning and they are stretching themselves, their capacity to practice that self-care, but also learn something new in a way. And I teach through fun, flow, play, and ease. And that's what I ask them to do. I'm like, this is not rigid. You are not a monk sitting on a rock in solitude for 72 hours. I'm asking you to go live your life and integrate what you're learning through fun, flow, play, and ease. We're bringing this back. You are prioritizing you. And so, are you prioritizing you? Truly. And I want you to get clear with yourself around that. And I want you to look at where it is that you're not prioritizing you. How can you prioritize yourself even more? How can you embody what it is that you know you're here to teach, whether you're teaching it or not yet? How can you embody that now? How can you embody the version of you who already has all of your desires now? There's so often it's like, how do I collapse time on getting from where I am to where I want to be? That's how you do it. That's it. Like, okay, there's some more steps in there that you can add in. And it really is like stepping into the version of you that already has it and choosing that every single day, continuing to heal, continuing to release, and shifting, shifting, shifting. What's meant for you will get its way to you. Always. How can you trust that? How can you trust that more? And How can you trust the signs that are coming in for you? Are you actually trusting the nudges? Have you been receiving signs and you're like, "Oh, no, I don't think so. No, I'm gonna wait." Are you in the energy of waiting? It's like, no. The version of you who has your desires, is she in the energy of waiting? What is she doing to take that aligned action now? What are you doing when you are receiving the signs, whether it's the angel numbers, whether it's a truly angelic soul that just crosses your path when normally you're just in your own lane? Is it a song on the radio? Is it a post online? It's like you're somehow doom scrolling and you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh, I was meant to receive this message today. Now, what are you going to go do about it? And how can you, when you receive the signs, trust it? Because this is how you step even more into alignment. This is how you come closer home to your soul essence. Embodiment is a huge topic that trust, and it's like, how do I build the confidence in myself and my spiritual gifts and abilities? How do I build the confidence in myself when it comes to my business? This is it. It's taking the aligned action. Sometimes it's moving without evidence. I said this on my Instagram stories today. I had no actual evidence that someone was going to be able to see the key of quantum illumination Reiki. There are 13 total, and then we also do alchemy, and receive the healing frequency and have the same outcome that I do. All I knew is nearly 4 years of me channeling it, 2.5 years of me utilizing it, creating healing and transformations for clients. And I moved without anyone else seeing these keys ever. And you know what's happening? Every time I teach a new key, I don't share the benefits first. I do share them with them, but I don't share it first. I do share what it can support them in as well, and what chakra it goes with, some of the things that it would be good to do with, right? Like how you can utilize the key. But I teach them how to access the frequency first. We integrate it and then we have them apply it to them. And then I have them share in our chat what it is that they're experiencing before I share the benefits. And it is magic. And I'm like, I knew this was going to happen because I trusted what I was already experiencing myself, what had come through from my spirit team, what my clients had been receiving for healing and transformations, and also all of the reels and the videos that are on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook that have feedback. And I'm like, it's inevitable. Sometimes you move, and I'm not saying like, that's your path, but sometimes you move without evidence. Sometimes it's like, I want to write a book. I have no evidence of being an author. We'll go write the book and become the author, because that is how you create the evidence. You are moving. That's how you create the confidence, is you're moving regardless. Most of what we do as healers in the spiritual realm is not tangible until it is, right? And I love that even people like Dr. Joe Dispenza are blending spirituality and science, and they're proving what it is that we are actually doing, which is so freaking cool. But a lot of it's not science-based, it's experiential. And we know because we see the results, but it's not tangible. You can't always hold it. So how can you trust what's before you and take the steps anyway? If this resonated with you at any point, if you had any aha moments, any shifts, anything that you were like, oh my gosh, this just landed, slide into my DMs. I want to hear from you. I love to hear from you. And if you are ready to step into this level of embodiment, if you are like, I know I am meant to get into the room of like-minded people and really embody the version of you that you know that you are here to be at that soul level, it's like coming home to you. Our Embody retreat only has 3 spots left. When you sign up for our certification program, you can also add on our retreat. And so just send me a DM and I will send you all that information. Otherwise, I can't wait to hear how this landed with you and how it supports you. And I will talk to you in the next episode.